Hi guys, it's MTG here. Today I'm going to be comparing the cameras found on the iPhone X and the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. These are two of the best camera systems that you can find on a smartphone right now, so I wanted to see how they compare head to head. I tested them in various lighting conditions, and I also took a look at their video quality. I set everything to automatic. Let's get right into it. Looking at the camera specs, the iPhone X has a dual 12-megapixel system, with a wide-angle and telephoto lens at f1.8 and f2.4 apertures respectively. The telephoto lens allows the X to have 2x optical zoom and take depth effect portrait pictures. The cameras can record up to 4K at 60 frames per second and 1080p at up to 240 frames per second. They have dual optical image stabilization. The X's front true depth camera is 7 megapixels with an aperture of f2.2. It can take portrait mode pictures and can record video at up to 1080p at 30 frames per second. The front camera on the Note 8 is 8 megapixels. It has an f1.7 aperture and can shoot video at up to 1440p at 30 frames per second. On the back, we'll find its dual camera system. Both cameras are 12 megapixels. The wide-angle and telephoto cameras have apertures of f1.7 and f2.4 respectively. The telephoto lens allows for 2x optical zoom and depth effect pictures. The Note 8 can shoot 4K video at up to 30 frames per second, 1080p at up to 60 frames per second, and 720p at up to 240 frames per second. Also, both cameras have optical image stabilization. In the shot of the skyline, both phones were able to show great detail in both the water and the sky. But the iPhone X appeared to handle the sun a lot better in the shot, where in the Note 8's image the sun appears a lot larger and more overpowering. Both phones are also equipped with a second telephoto lens that allows users to utilize 2x optical zoom to get closer to the subject. Both shots did very well. In this image, we can see that the Note 8 will tend to have cooler images and the iPhone X's images will tend to be warmer. But both phones did a great job of capturing the blue of the sky while maintaining details on the built-in. The iPhone X's auto HDR abilities seem to always be slightly better than the Note 8's. The X can make sure the background is nice and clear as well as anything in the foreground. But needless to say, the Note 8's photo is also really good. Looking at another shot with direct sunlight, the iPhone X handled the sun better, but the Note 8 did a better job at maintaining the colors of the cars and the street in the foreground. In this shot, the Note 8 actually did the better job with the sky, while maintaining a great level of detail everywhere else in the shot. In some shots, in an effort to make the image more vibrant, the iPhone X produced a picture that wasn't as natural as the Note 8's. This wall was white, and the iPhone X makes it appear to be light blue. The Note 8 takes pretty good depth effect pictures in its live focus mode. The edges are clean and well defined. However, the iPhone X's portrait mode did a much better job at maintaining my skin tone. The iPhone X simply took the better picture. Both front cameras are also able to take portrait mode style pictures. The Note 8 has a selective focus that utilizes only software, whereas the iPhone X gets help from some of the tech used in Face ID to differentiate between the foreground and the background. And although the iPhone X blurs the top of my hair, it did a much better job at differentiating between the foreground and background than on the Note 8 in my testing. When taking a normal picture with the front camera of both phones, you can see that the Note 8 has a wider angle lens, and seems to capture more of the light in the room, which is probably due to having the larger aperture. Looking at front camera pictures of both phones in low light, the shots on both phones are clear and detailed, but both phones were slightly off with my skin tone. The Note 8's cooler look makes me look paler, while the iPhone X's warmer look makes me look more orange. Different people will prefer different color temperatures. Both phones did a terrific job of maintaining detail even when there was barely any light. Both phones did not overprocess their images and were able to keep noise to a minimum. In this image, again, both phones did a great job considering how dark it was outside. The Note 8 did a better job at capturing the colors of the building, but the iPhone X, on the other hand, did a better job at controlling noise in the sky. Looking at this complex night shot with lamps, both phones again did a great job despite the very low lighting, but the Note 8 seemed to do a better job with the light. The lights in the lamps are less overpowering in the Note's shot, and the Note 8 maintained more detail when the light hit the ground. The Note 8's advantage with lights in low light is even more apparent in this shot with a complex lighting fixture. The details are maintained even where there are differences in light on the Note 8's shot. The iPhone X didn't do a bad job, but it clearly didn't pick up as much detail as the Note 8's shot did. Testing the portrait modes in lower light, the iPhone X again outshined the Note 8's image. The colors look better and details on my face are clearer in the iPhone X's image. When I tested the video on both phones were set to 4K at 30 frames per second, because that's what this video is uploaded at. But note that the iPhone X can take 4K video at 60 frames per second. Looking at the video shot on both phones, the iPhone X showed that it had better image stabilization. And although the iPhone X's video appears significantly more vibrant than the Note 8's, I think the Note 8's colors in the video were more true to life. In this other panning shot, the iPhone X again shows that it has the better image stabilization, but the Note 8 was able to quickly adapt to maintain the colors in the sky. The sky in the iPhone X's video was washed out for most of the video until the blue finally became visible near the end. Now I'm testing the front cameras on both phones. It's starting to get dark outside, so I wonder how both cameras pick up in lower light. Also, it's not too windy outside and it's not too noisy, so I'm wondering how the mics pick up my voice. Now I'm testing the front cameras on both phones. It's starting to get dark outside, so I wonder how both cameras pick up in lower light. Also, it's not too windy outside and it's not too noisy, so I'm wondering how the mics pick up my voice. The front camera video qualities had much more variation. The video on the Note 8 was a lot cooler than on the iPhone X. Overall, the colors just popped more on the iPhone X. Although the iPhone X may have oversaturated the background, it did do a better job with the colors on my face. In terms of audio, I think the Note 8 did a slightly better job. The audio from the iPhone X sounded slightly more tinny in comparison. When the cameras are this good on the phones, you have to be really critical to find flaws in them. Each phone had their advantages in some shots and disadvantages in other shots. At the end of the day, people have different preferences when it comes to camera. Two people may disagree on the same shot at which one was better. And if you prefer the warmer look of the iPhone X, you might prefer its camera. But if you prefer the cooler looks of the Note 8's images, you might prefer its camera. Let me know in the comment section which phone's camera you prefer. And if you like this video, please give this video a thumbs up. I'm working on a lot of new content right now, so please click the logo down below to subscribe, and make sure to click the notification bell to stay up to date on my latest videos. Check the description for links to my social media accounts, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.